Welcome, sir. Welcome. And would you like to introduce yourself before we move ahead with the interview?
Definitely, yes. First of all, I'd like to thank you for giving me this opportunity and to talk briefly about myself. I am Fardad Shah, retired wing commander of the Pakistan Air Force, fighter pilot in that. And after my retirement, early retirement, I have taken interest in social work, in politics, and in journalism. And till today, I am pursuing the same interests.
Right.
My aim in life is to do something for my country, my society, in fact, for the world, in whatever capacity that I can.
So, what is meritocracy? Why do you think this is important right now?
Meritocracy is something that I have been talking about, I have been propagating, I have been proposing in different forums for a long time, like let's say for 10 years, in my own newspaper, my website, and even in the international forum, which I can, I can. However, the thing is that it is why I am adamant about it is because I am sure that this is the future of the world. Believe me, I am sure that this is the future of the world. It is not that I am just picking up a thing and picking somewhere. I have studied it thoroughly. I have thought about it thoroughly. I have contemplated about it thoroughly. And I feel that meritocracy is our future.
Right. So, how do you think it can be implemented in Pakistan, in international market, like wherever you think it is,
True.
it should be?
Sure. First of all, I'll tell you why meritocracy.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Meritocracy, because what are we following? What is the world following now? The world is following a system which is called democracy. Most of the countries, we are talking of democracy. And what is democracy? Democracy was invented about 2,500 years ago. And why was it necessary? Because at that time there were despots, there were kings on whose just one word these people would be killed and massacred. I mean, the people were at their mercy. So some people got together and they said that let's make a system where we ourselves are involved, and we ourselves make our government, make our rulers. And that is how democracy started and it evolved. Excellent system. It was an excellent system in the beginning. It worked very well all these times. But now where it has reached is, it is totally a failed system. It has done its time. It is now a dead horse. We are flogging a dead horse, what I call democracy. And I believe it. I'll explain you how. Why am I saying this?
Sure.
Now, you see, for example, I'll give you the example of Pakistan. In Pakistan we have democracy. By the way, my family has been in politics for decades. My father was 4 times the member of the National Assembly. He has his signature on the Constitution of Pakistan. I have seen it very closely. But I know that with every passing year and every passing elections, it is getting dirty, it is getting foul, it is getting worse, and the people are not now free to choose their leaders, like for which the democracy was supposed to be. Now they are tied up into different things. They are tethered to different strings. Some to religious tether, some have the regional, some have relatives, this, that. I mean, what I see is that democracy, the people are not free, not really free. Some are poor people, they are bought. So democracy is a failed system, believe you me. And I'll give an example. For example, I'm a very good man. Okay, I'm a good person. I become a member of the National Assembly. Okay, I fight elections and become a member of National Assembly. Just after a few days, the person who has been my chief supporter, he will come and say that please appoint my son for this job. I will tell him that, look, why should I appoint your son? It should be on merit. And he will say, who are you? We have elected you. So all these people who are elected by the people, they are obliged to them. And they transgress and trespass democracy to oblige these people. And it is everywhere. I might be very nice and very good, but this system does not let anybody to be honest and straight. Okay? So we can say that we can, I reject it. Now you will say, if you reject it, then what? What instead? How will you go about it? Yes, there is a system. There is an excellent system which I'll try to explain shortly, in a short manner. What my concept of meritocracy is that there should be no elections. Okay? If no elections, then what? Every appointment from the president down to the district councillor should be filled in by competitive examinations, open competition, examinations which have been designed and which have been, put together by experts, and which includes all kind of experts, including psychologists, who should be determining that this person is fit to become a president. Is he fit to become an MNA? Is he fit to become a councillor? Like that. And it's very, very easy. I'll to explain it, little elaborate, otherwise you will not. For example, now people say, then how do you go about it further? What to do? So I'll give you an example. For example, we have the time has come to elect a president of Pakistan. So we put up an advertisement in the national press that applications are needed for president of Pakistan. Okay? Eligibility criteria is the same as it is now for the president. So people who think they are eligible, they will apply for it. Of course, you should have some money, fees, so that only serious people apply for it. Now, let's say there are 20,000 people who have applied for the post of president of Pakistan. All right? So every district should have an examination hall where the people from that district are put together and they are taken, test is taken from them. For example, like let's say in Chitral, which I'm talking of, I'm focusing on it. There are, let's say, 200 people who have applied from Chitral. Out of the 20,000 from the whole country, 200 from Chitral, they are made to sit in an examination room like any other examination, like the CSS examination, and a day before the day of the selection, a helicopter comes in with 200 laptops in which are fed the tests which are tailored for for presidentship, and they are scrambled so that people can't cheat, and they are put together. Now, once and it is centrally controlled by satellite. So when the time comes for the test to begin, the switch is on and the laptops will open. People will do their test. In that test, they have every kind of question, answer, and what is needed for a president. And even psychologically, you can test, like they have in the ISSB. They have psychological tests and all that, personality tests. People will fill in their questionnaires, and at whatever time is there, 1 hour, 2 hour, the thing will go off automatically. Nobody can interfere in it. Nobody can fudge it. Nobody can fiddle with it. You can't cheat here and there because it's all mixed up, like your entrance test and all that. But of course, this has to be more refined because it's for such a big thing. Okay. Now let's say that you have 200, out of these 200, there are 3 people, Now these 20,000 people from all over the district, their test results will come automatically in an hour or so, or maybe even short, in the central control room in Islamabad, okay? And let's say out of these, the top 200 from 20,000 from all over Pakistan, and the tests I just covered will be carried like this. So these 200 people will be called to Islamabad. They will be state guests. There will be another elaborate and more strict examination to find the one who becomes the president out of these 200. Okay, the one who tops will become your president. Now imagine if the most intelligent person, the most suitable person, I don't say the person fit for president is anybody who has good vocabulary or who has good general knowledge. No, it is an elaborate test. It is all kind of things: statesmanship, integrity, psychological aspects, all this. The one who tops it, he'll become the president. Just imagine, the man on top is the most able person in the country. What will be the status of the country? Similarly, down for every cadre, a test like this will have to be conducted. Now, what happens? What happens with this, and comparing it with the politics that's going on. Now, for example, I also apply, you also apply, everybody applies, I become the MNA, all right? Now, I have become MNA not through votes, but through my capability, like the CSS, like this. So then if somebody comes to me and says that, please, my son, give him some job, or my nephew, he wants to get employed somewhere, I'll say, get lost. I have come on merit, and he will come on merit. Then he will not be able to tell me that, who are you, and we have elected you. I will not be blackmailed. I will not be obliged. This is a very, very important thing. Why we are failed? Why we are a failed country, a failed system? Because of this, you're not free. MNA is not free. The president is not free. Party, this pulling this and that. Merit, there is no merit. And the intelligent people, they get disappointed. They get disgruntled. Some leave the country. Some, even commit suicides who are not. But in this particular thing that the system that I am suggesting, everybody will have the same chance. The son of the king, or the son of a very rich man, or the son of a sweeper, he will have the same chance, provided he is intelligent and he has got that education. Now, education, everybody will try to give their children good education because it offers them that much of opportunity. So automatically education and their upbringing, grooming will be encouraged like this. And this system will have this kind of a thing, and a country. Now I'll give you just an example. This is a very important example. When I say meritocracy, I am not just saying it out of, if you go to the internet and search, there was in France some years back, they wanted a governor for a small island, okay? It was not doing well. It was a touristic island. So they, as an experiment, they floated an advertisement. And they said that anybody will have a test, anybody from anywhere in the world, not even only from France, from open competition, anybody can come. And the tests were held, the competition was held, and a Britisher, I think a 32-year Britisher, he topped it, and he was appointed the governor of that failed island, which was not doing anywhere. And you read it over there that within 3 years it developed so much, that idea. It was for them, it was a surprise. It's an excellent example, done on a small scale. Again, now we'll say that why didn't France adopt it? Because there are politicians in France, in Pakistan, and they are in United States, and they are in in Algeria, or you go to Uganda. It's all politics is destroying this world. You know, all these conflicts that you see, these are because political interests of people, they are pushing and pulling each other. If intelligent people, if refined people come on top everywhere in the world will be a beautiful place to live. It will be a different place. You know, there are no conflicts. Now you see, just sorry to give an example, but about Trump. Trump, do you think he would have become a president if meritocracy was there? Of course not. How do these people become presidents, and how do they become politicians? They join mafias, okay? This mafia, that mafia, religious mafia, oil mafia, bankers mafia. You cannot go up without joining a mafia in politics. No way. I have seen it myself. I have my family. I'm telling you, I've been through it. It is not possible. You have to compromise. You have to barter with mafias. You know, they bring you up, and then they want you to serve them. So if instead of Trump there was a sensible man, you think the war in Iraq, attack on Afghanistan, Syria, this would have happened? All this, the misery in the world by, half, what should I say, that kind of people. So what I'm saying is that, it is the future of the world. It is not only of Pakistan. It is the future of the world. And, we say that, this chap has come, Flana, Benazir has gone, Nawaz Sharif has come, Imran Khan is coming. Oh, bhai, nothing will happen. They will keep coming and going. It's just like it's an old folk tale, anecdote, in which they say that, a dog fell in a well in a village, okay, and the water got polluted. So people got together and said that, we will clean this well. So they started taking out water from the buckets, all right? They started taking out 1 bucket, 2 buckets, 100 buckets, nothing happened. They were tired because it was still stinking and nothing happened. Then the wise man happened to come about, and he said, oh, look here, unless you remove that dog over there, the scopes of a dog, the water will not clean, no matter however much you clean the water. Our system is like this. System is the same. We want this to come, then he remove him and he want the other to come. Oh, why nothing will happen? Why do we are wasting our time? So what I am saying is that we need to change the system. And what system? This is the system. Singapore is a gleaming example of adopting meritocracy. Their president Lee Kuan Yew, who for 32 years, I think, he was the president and he died. I was reading his interview and he said that, look, these 120 people or some whom he had selected, he said these are the ones who have brought Singapore from zero to become this rich. If we had not done this thing and had elections, it would have been something like Bhutan or some, Singapore would have been worse because it has nothing of its own. It is only meritocracy that has now put it at par with economic powers, and it is, people admire it and people, envy it. Why? Because of this meritocracy. So everywhere you look at it, politics, or to be more specific, elections, these are the enemy. This is the enemy of stability. This is the enemy of progress. Now you'll say that, oh, look at India. India is also having democracy. But what? In India, what is their condition? Do you know that their people are sleeping in the streets in a hopeless condition? They don't have bathrooms. If people, there are so many clever and intelligent people in India who can head Google, who can head Apple, and all over the world they are doing. But the ones who are ruling India, like whoever he is now, and all these people, what are they? If these people, they were made to rule. They were made president, they were made prime minister. And India it has so much of resources, like Pakistan. I mean, like Pakistan has so much resources compared to Singapore. It is, like one is 100% and the other is zero. But just because we have no system, we are begging and all the time crying and wailing, and they are flying higher and higher every time. So what I am saying is that it is not only for Pakistan. I am not talking for Pakistan. It is for the world. Believe me, it is for the world. And I challenge today. This is the future of the world. If not today, tomorrow. If not tomorrow, day after tomorrow. A day will come when people will realize that no, this election business, it is too old. It is too old. It is dead now. Even, nothing is sustained, or nothing remains evergreen forever, Even if a tree, it grows up, it gives its fruit, and then it dries up and you have to cut it. So democracy has done its round. Democracy has done its round. It's nonsense talking. What can be more democratic than giving people the chance to become the president, a poor man's son to become? What can be more democratic? What can be more Islamic? What can be even more, if you look at it from the communist point of view? It fulfills all the requirements of these, beliefs and these systems that we are talking about. Meritocracy in this form, not in that and I'm having meritocracy and the same system continues. No, it has to be. Now you'll ask, definitely people will say, who will bring about meritocracy? Of course not politicians. Look, politicians will not, because if they bring about, none of them will be anywhere. So they don't want to axe their own feet. So, so it has to be done by somebody else.
Yeah. So, where to start? Who is your target audience, and how do you want them to support your idea of meritocracy?
True. Now look, first of all, this message has to be spread. This idea has to be spread. Okay? This idea has to be spread to each and everyone. Believe you me, I have talked to even illiterate people. When I explain them what it is, they say, oh, this is what we need. But nobody will allow you to do it. They all say that. They will build a cat. Because, the parliament will not do it. They all say that. If you tell the people what it is, they will go head over heels for it. So now you say, who will do it? Of course. Again, the most difficult question, that who will do it? Of course not the parliament. Of course not, through, it has to be done from a divine intervention. It could be done by the military. If the military does it and implements this, I tell you, people will love the military. People will love, they will, love them, because not that military comes and martial law and that not that nonsense. If the military comes and abrogates the constitution and says that this is the new way, this is the new constitution, we will have this system, we will have from president down to the local councillor, these people will be elected, and it can be done. Why not? So many times the constitution has been abrogated, it has been defiled. This time for a good cause, for a noble cause, if it is done, the world will appreciate it, they will follow it. What I want this thing to happen from Pakistan, and I can bet anything that the world will adopt it. However, it has to start somewhere. We have to take the first step. I'm like, now I'm obliged to you that you're giving me a chance. If this message reaches a number of people, there will be people who are more, what you can say, more clever, more intelligent, more capable than me, who can take this message forward and they can spread it around. And believe me, it is possible. You see, how did democracy come into being? Just a few people, they got together and said that let's make a system, and it is not a divine thing. It's not come from heaven's democracy. Hell with it. Now this is the system. This is the new world order, the new system. It should be implemented. I'm obsessed with it, and I'm fully convinced about it.
So, last question: what is your message, final message? Because your idea of meritocracy, you spoke about it very clearly. So now you say, like, in 1 minute, 2 minutes, if you can summarize like your message to the generation coming
Okay,
ahead.
for one thing, sorry, somebody would ask, when somebody sees this thing, they would ask, okay, in democracy you have a system of accountability. The people, what will happen in meritocracy? Yes, you have to have a parallel system of accountability. Accountability institution which would be as strong as the president to keep a check. So this is it. Now, that is how, it covers everything. I have turned it over, tossed it over, and I have found that it is an all-encompassing thing. There's nothing left in it. Maybe I have missed out something over here, but I can explain it to you. Every question has an answer in it. Now you say that what is your, message? My message is that anybody who believes in it, if somebody has any doubts, can ask me in whatever it's in chitralnews.com. It's a meritocracy. You just write meritocracy Chitral. It's the full 1 hour of presentation in Urdu, and of course long question answers by people and all that. However, what the message is that we should spread it. Yeah, you're doing, I would, noble cause if you spread the thing. By spreading it, it will spread like fire. If it catches the imagination of the people. If it catches the imagination of the people, it is spread like fire. It is the most practicable, doable system, the most simplest system. It will cut down so many of these overheads, so many of these corrupt practices. Everything people will only look up to merit. And what can be better than this? What could be better than this? This is my message.
Thank you.
Spread it.
Yeah, thank you very much for your time, your idea of meritocracy, and thank you very much for sharing it with us. Thank you.
It was my pleasure, and I once again thank you and consider it a big service to society, and to even accept it and attempt to capture it and propagate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. It was an honor to meet you today. Thank you.
Thanks.